Another new platform?
Yes, we've tried. Yeah.
Welcome to the 17th platform that we've tried.
Trying to get it right. Welcome to our live closeout party and Q&A.
We'll bump on the table and the earthquake's happening, so let's try and remain.
Okay, try not to touch the table. Welcome and thank you for joining us. All right, let me just see. Okay, yeah. Christy's on.
Welcome. See some new peeps jumping in.
Just make sure we're all good over at YouTube. Laurie, can you please just give me a heads up that we're all good on both Facebook and YouTube, and maybe just pop it in that live doc we've got going.
Filthy hand.
Yeah, do you want to tell them what you've been doing?
Yeah, so behind us you can see right there.
The mustache?
No, that behind me, that right there, that black thing, that's our commercial mixer that just died. So we're just getting that sorted right now. And I have blackened out my hands and my fingernails trying to figure out the problem. So apologies, but we're good to go. We're just making sure everyone's in. Hello, Christy. We've got some Facebook users. We can't see their name.
Okay, I've just popped the link in the comments there. If you can please click that link so that we can see your name. We know who we're talking to. That would just be super lovely. It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
But it's lovely to see you all.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
So, guys, it's been a big 10 days. And if you've managed to keep up with it, or even if you haven't managed to keep up with all of it, because there is quite a lot, then congratulations. I know that it's quite a big effort, especially because I know I've seen comments from many of you saying that you're homeschooling your kids and you're still in lockdown and all this stuff. Lives can get pretty busy, and yeah, well done for actually getting through the 10 days. And I know that lots of you have been whizzing up all those smoothies or looking forward to it. So it's been really cool to see those comments coming through. Actually, we were going to bed last night. We were going to bed last night and Jordan got a notification on his phone saying that he just got an email from Tegan. Do you want to tell?
Steal my thunder?
I'll steal your thunder, yeah.
Thanks.
Well, I was going to ask you to do it, actually.
I'll do it later.
Oh.
I had planned to do it later.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, I guess while people sort of fill in, we're really grateful to have you guys here. We are at our warehouse at Coolum Beach on the Sunshine Coast of Queensland. There's some activity behind us. We've had some dramas with our mixer, so we're trying to get that sorted. So hopefully it's not too distracting. But we are very grateful to have you in. Hello. Thanks for joining. We typically like to kick off these things by just peeling back a little bit and recognizing everybody and their efforts to put a little bit of time aside every day for the last 10 days in order to garner a little bit of extra information around food, particularly around smoothies and how to get the most nourishment you can from a breakfast smoothie.
We're actually going away for a week. We've got the van parked out there with our daughter and our bags packed. And I said to Jordan, we made our final smoothie this morning. And I said, are you ready to have a week with no smoothies? Because there's no blender where we're going. And he's like, no, I'm really not ready for that.
No. Anyway, you do what you got to do. It's our daughter's 13th birthday, our second daughter. And we have a tradition where we take the teenage birthday, the first teenage birthday, take them away and celebrate them and have some fun.
One time.
Yeah. Typically it's to a third world country, but not going to happen this time because of restrictions.
So today we want to cover a few things off with you guys. One, we are going to give you some tips for smoothie success. A lot of you have been having that success already. I've been blown away I'm always blown away. Like every time. It's just really heartwarming to see those comments coming through saying how good you're feeling even just after 5 smoothies. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
My friend Summer is doing this boot camp with you guys, and she's been talking to some mutual friends saying how much she's been loving them and how great, I've seen other people saying how great they're feeling. So it's been super cool. So we're going to cover off the tips for smoothie success. We are going to answer some questions that have been coming. We have to make a little edit to the ebook because we just recently changed the recipe for that chocolate all-rounder. So we're going to just make that tweak after this call, and then we're going to email it to you with a savings code as well. So we're going to give you that savings code, which I just need to update the dates for.
Yeah. So Christy has just mentioned she craves smoothies in the mornings now.
Yeah.
It's such a good feeling when your body recognizes the goodness that you're putting in and starts to reach out for it and crave it. It's such a good feeling. Hey, the recent joins Facebook user.
I remember when.
Hang on a sec, just quickly. There's a link further up in the comments, guys. Anyone who's just recently joined, that Lainey's going to post it again. There you go. If you could click on that link, and it just allows us to see who you are, so we can speak to you by name and not just see Facebook user.
Yeah.
Would be nice, thank you.
But on that note, who was it? Was it Kirsty?
Yeah,
Christy said that she craves smoothies in the morning now. I remember, Christy, when I first started having a greens powder drink in the mornings, and I just really had to. It was mind over matter. Is that what you say?
You can. Depends what
Mind
you
over
want to
matter.
say.
But within a week or so of having it, my body really did learn to crave that as well. It's amazing how our taste buds in our body just changes according to what it needs and what it wants.
Yeah. So I guess on that point, we've had a bit of fun these last 10 days. We've thrown out some recipes. We've taught you guys the formula of how to get a really good smoothie. Just take a step backwards. What we love introducing is a new way of living in terms of your mornings, in terms of your breakfasts, and it's all based around being able to get into your body the best possible food in the most convenient way. That's sort of what we're about here at the Whole Food Collective, because lives are busy, things can get crazy, and everyone has been conditioned into convenience. And unfortunately, that conditioning has led to a whole bunch of chronic disease because we reach for the easy and tastiest thing because we're so run down and we don't prioritize our fueling, our nutrition as much as we should. So our sort of drive is to help everybody to get more nutrition in their body for the positive results. And as Lainey mentioned, we get emails, we get mentions, we get comments, and we love to hear the positive changes that are happening so quickly as a result
it's just
of
amazing.
giving your body what it needs and what it wants. Because I mentioned to someone recently in Facebook that when you give your body the fuel that it needs, it can do anything it requires. It can fix problems, it can overcome issues, it has that power and capacity. So it's about fueling in the right manner. And supercharged smoothies have been designed to do that, so that you can get everything you need balanced nutritionally, so that your body can sort out any issues, give you the strength, give you the vitality, give you the anything and everything your body needs to function at its optimal. So yeah, we're stoked that you guys are making some small changes over the last 10 days, and we hope this will continue. We really hope you guys will then now take this learning and continue to do those little things every day, every week that will allow you to flood your body with good nutrition for at least one meal. Obviously, overhauling the whole diet routine is quite an issue, but a lot of you guys are already on board with Whole Foods, which is great. Just getting some updated advice, info, more motivation to get better smoothies in your body. But if you're just coming into the whole food space, just keep doing little things a little bit at a time so you don't get overwhelmed, and you'll see those little successes, and then commit yourself to a better lifestyle through incredible food. That's what we love.
So I reckon we should shift gears and do some prizes. What do you reckon?
Oh, okay, straight into prizes.
I better go and get my paper and pen. Can
you
tell everyone?
Yeah, I'll update. So guys, what we like to do when we give away prizes, we wish we could give everyone a prize, but obviously that's not possible. But we've got 5 prize packs for people who are here on the live, who just as another way of saying thanks, get into it, enjoy it. And what we've got obviously is we've got one each of the supercharged smoothie jar blends with a tumbler or a smoothie bar. What do we call these? Smoothie pops?
Ice cream molds.
Ice cream molds, yeah. For leftover smoothie, that you can freeze up and use as an awesome treat for your kids, or if they're not into their breakfast one day, give them an ice cream smoothie that gets them that nutrition without them thinking that it's going to be healthy. So how we do that is we ask you guys to start with. What we like to do is ask you guys to pop in the comments. Now, this is where, if they're just Facebook user, it's going to be hard for us to.
No. Well, no, but Laurie can check in the Facebook stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
If you haven't checked on the link that allows us to see your name, then if you get a prize, then we're going to have to make sure
So if you want to be in the running for a prize,
Yeah, that's a
please
good
click
idea.
the link.
So there you go. The
Off
link
chest.
we just posted here.
Oh, it says can't post some comments to some destinations. So maybe on YouTube it's not coming up.
Maybe not.
The person who just said, "Can you see me?" No, we can't. You're still showing up as a Facebook user. Yeah, Becky likes smoothie pops. Okay, cool. Oh, there's some really cool comments here. Someone's got some goodies waiting for them at the post office already.
Nice.
Someone else said, I've had my 8-year-old request smoothies frequently. She's been loving them, even knowing they have vegetables in them, and she's not a vegetable fan. Yes, like that is the stuff that, like, that's life-changing for her, because she's going to go through life now not fearing vegetables, and she's going to embrace them in many other ways. Oh, so good. The power of that is huge.
Yes, massive.
While fam having a late lunch, 1:30 p.m. because we're all still satisfied from the chock all rounder smoothie breakfast. Yes, there's been a few people say they've stopped having morning tea because they just don't need it anymore.
That's one of the beauties of these smoothies, is they fill you up with all the goodness of whole food that you don't require. Yeah, it's incredible if we didn't audit of our diets, and if we were actually honest with ourselves, and I'm not saying you and I, but typically as a society, how little nutrition we actually get into our body. And the result of that over 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years is chronic disease from a lack of nutrition. So this is really key. What we're doing today, what we do this week, last week, and the concepts we're teaching are so important. And we're trying to make it fun and exciting and easy and palatable and convenient, so that it becomes an easy habit to introduce long-term. Because
which is key.
Yeah, if you're going to put the right things into your body, you won't see a lot of the issues that many people see later in life, because they've lived decades without enough nutrition.
Yeah, and just a little bit of a tidbit for you is that we are 10% DNA and 90% microbes. What that means is that we're the dictators of our health largely. 90% of our health is within our control. And, of course, there may be exceptions to that, but the majority of the cases, the lifestyle choices we make affect our microbes, which impact 90% of our health. And so we can stop blaming our grandparents and our parents and, the people up the line from our family for these issues that, can be triggered, can be in our bodies, and that tendency can be triggered by eating some of, these highly refined, sugary foods. But if we can switch that over and have highly nutritious food, great sleep, movement in our life, then we can avoid, like Jordan said, we can avoid so much heartache and pain. So
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're pretty pumped.
Rachel, thank you for that suggestion of the travel blender. We'll look into that.
Oh, travel blender, that sounds good.
All right, so
so we didn't finish explaining how the prizes are given out. Yeah,
Laurie, sorry, can you just confirm that we're on YouTube? Someone said that it's not working on YouTube, so I'm hoping
that wouldn't be cool.
Yeah,
I can only do a half-size smoothie. They're too big for me to drink. You should try one.
That's okay. If you feel satisfied.
Yeah. If you can only do half, but you're still getting that that good hit, then that's fine.
I can't seem to check on YouTube on my phone, but Laurie, I'll leave that up to you. I'm at the top of the doc if you want to write it in there, Laurie.
Okay. So what we like to do is we ask you guys the number one takeaway from this last 10 days. You need to scoot across here.
It's just the chair legs are in the way. There we go.
Okay. So the number one takeaway that you've got from the past 10 days, and we ask you to write that in the comments. And then we ask you also to put a number in between 1 and
20.
Oh, whoa, 120. That's going to be a lot of double ups. We'll go for 1 and 50.
Okay.
And the first 5 who come up with, are we going to do them all at once, or are we going to just do one at a time?
Maybe we'll just do sporadically through the time we're together. We'll do one now.
Okay, we'll do one now. So the first one we'll do is the Supercharged Immunity.
So I've written a number down on this piece of paper, and whoever's closest or gets it will get the prize.
Yeah. Summer, you are showing up now. Thank you.
Oh, Summer, yes, we can see your name. Thank you.
We forgot. Okay. Oh, there we go. Christy's onto it. So with your number one takeaway, pop a number between 1 and 50 next to it at the end of it. And then we'll do one at a time, 5 of them throughout this live. And we will then have you guys reach out to Hello at the Whole Food Collective if you win a prize. and Susanna will hook you up with a special code that will give you this prize. Okay.
Nice.
So the first immunity pack.
I love some of these comments already.
Let's have a look. Okay, where are we going? We're going up here.
Oh, someone said YouTube's fine. That's great. Thank you.
Great. Oh, yeah. So there's a YouTube comment from Zaming.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great.
Okay,
Thank
beautiful.
you, Laurie. I've seen your comment too. Thank you.
Okay. Good on you, Zaming. Okay, Christy, you don't need milk to make a smoothie.
Yeah,
excellent.
Nice creamy smoothies.
Yep,
Don't need
nice
milk.
one. Bronwyn says just adding the veggies and nuts for being nutrient dense. Absolutely. Excellent.
Hey, Kim.
Kim, you've just dropped a number. What's your biggest takeaway, mate? Add that too. Summer, gut health doesn't have to be hard work. Absolutely, Summer. Well done. That is so true. It's when did we consider it hard work? Is it simply just
it's just
a contrast to the current situation?
Honestly, I think it's because our family are like neck deep in a pretty intense gut protocol right now for one of our daughters who has some pretty big parasites in her gut that's impacting her in many ways. The world of gut health can be very full on and complex. Preventative gut health care and also restorative gut health care, generally speaking, unless you've got a very specific issue you need to address, doesn't need to be hard. No. It's awesome.
No, I'm a big believer in food being the solution to pretty much all the physiological problems we introduce, combined with our state of mind, of course. But, food is so powerful if we use it right and we have the right amounts of it. And anyway, I could go on for a long time.
Noting the time, we need to get going. So
okay, Danielle forgot to put the number in.
Okay.
Shane, a good, quick, healthy breakfast for the family is easier than I thought it would be. Absolutely. Well, that's great. Sarah says seeds are so good in that diet. Absolutely.
Yeah, seeds are amazing.
Seeds are
and a few people, I think that's a big takeaway for lots of you. I've been seeing comments about seeds a lot.
Yeah, easy formula for creating a healthy smoothie. Absolutely, Alison. Let's see. I can't see the number yet.
Veggies, lots of different veggies, not just leaves. Nice.
Feed your body nutritionally. Absolutely. Cool.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. So we're just scrolling through here to see if we've got a number.
So shall I reveal my number?
Hang on, we're not down to the bottom yet.
Detox is not a scary thought. I like the detox smoothie. Yes.
Nice one, Lyndon. Okay. Oh, that's a good idea. If you say, anyway. Cool. Okay, so we haven't got anyone that's guessed that number, right? So,
but
what do we do?
The closest to number 7, simplicities. Yeah,
someone had number 1. I think someone had number 1 up here.
Oh, the 17 there.
Yeah, that's number 1, Sarah.
Number 1.
That would be the closest, I think.
Sarah
Thornborough. Looks like you are the winner of the immunity.
Do you want to show Sarah what she's won?
I just did. So we'll give you a Smoothie Booster, Supercharged Smoothie Booster. That's 10 serves in the jar there, plus a peach tumbler. It's an insulated tumbler, great for keeping your smoothies nice and chilled throughout the day, especially as we are entering the hot part of the year. Such a good thing to sip on it throughout the morning. Mine don't last long enough to require a insulated tumbler, but you might be different. Hopefully you enjoy that. So reach out to Hello at the Whole Food Collective and we will...
When was that? That was after we called the number though. Sorry. The person who just said seeds and 9, you were closest, but it was after we said it. Yeah. So, cool. Okay. So we'll do some more shortly. Yeah. So keep on writing your main takeaways and your numbers there, and we'll.
Should we ask them to keep writing? Because we have to scroll through a lot if we do it.
Laurie, would you mind just keeping track of that? Why is it always so hard to do?
We struggle.
We really do every time. We don't
find the perfect solution.
We don't have a good sort of rhythm of doing prices. But anyway, guys, I would love to jump into some questions.
Yep.
We don't want to keep you too long today.
But you've written a whole bunch. We asked for questions to come in prior to the live so we could make sure that we cover the best ones and we think the ones that are most valuable and applicable to everybody. So hopefully we can read your question out and answer it.
Okay.
If not,
go on.
Reach out to us on email and we'll try and get you the answer.
Yeah, so keep on going in those comments, guys, with other questions. And Laurie's going to bring those questions over into a live doc we've got going, so we don't need to keep track. And also your key takeaway with your numbers.
Yeah.
make sure you got your number in. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm
first
going to
question, start down here.
Yeah, this
Okay.
one was asked a lot. So you guys were super intrigued by the cultured yogurt in yesterday's gut loving smoothie video, and for good reason. It is incredible. Our family don't particularly like the taste of it by itself, but in a smoothie, oh my goodness, you can get away with it for any of our kids. And some of our kids are pretty, I wouldn't say picky, but they'll detect things, and so anyway, you can put that cultured yogurt into that smoothie, and it's amazing. So there's, I think, 41 billion CFU colony forming units in that probiotic yogurt. So the probiotic yogurt is basically injecting those good bugs, the good bacteria, the good microbes into that gut of yours to make sure that that balance between the good and the more pathogenic microbes are at that good level where it's not causing you harm and it's actually helping you to thrive. And so the way that we can do that is super simple. We don't sell the culture, but I think we've given you a link to Cultured Wellness. It's on yesterday's video post. There's a link there you can click through to. And you just buy a starter, which is basically 1 cup of the cultured yogurt. And all you need to do is add that into a big glass jar with a good seal, with 4 cans of that. The best coconut cream that's thick is IAM. I don't know how you pronounce that, but you can get it at Woolies. AYAM is the good one because it has no water in it. If you can get a coconut cream that has no water, then it will help set really well. And so all you do is just mix it together and you leave it on the bench for a day or 2, depending on how warm it is where you are. The cooler it is, the longer it will take. The hotter it is, the quicker it will take. And then once it's fermented, and all you can tell when it's ready simply by tasting it, and it will have that slightly sour taste, that fermented. I mean, it's not, when I say fermented, everyone goes, oh, fermented. It doesn't taste horrible. It's just that bit of a tang, like a sourdough bread. You know, that's kind of slightly tang.
Mildly bitter.
Yeah. And so that's when it's ready and it's not sweet anymore. It's sucked all that sweetness out. So you pop it in the fridge and then it's ready to go. You can just put a spoon or 2 into your smoothie. And so typically, because it's a very therapeutic dose of probiotic. And so when you start, you want to start small, even if it's just 1 teaspoon. That's what our daughter started on, was 1 teaspoon. And then you can work your way up to, say, 1/2 cup if you wanted to a day. And that's a really good therapeutic dose of probiotic. So I hope that answers your question.
So that's the short answer? I'm just kidding.
I'm not very good at short answers, but I'll try my best.
Yeah. So we actually cover off on a lot more to do with fermentation and
gut health
and fibers and gut specific health in another one of our challenges called the Fiber Challenge, funnily enough.
Actually, that's coming up in November next month.
Yeah.
So we will put, actually, Laurie, I'm not sure if you know where that link is, Laurie. If you go to the Whole Food Collective homepage, and then as you scroll down, you can see like a
free challenges.
Yeah, an icon for free challenges. Click that, and then you can join the wait list for the Fiber Challenge next month. It's run in conjunction with gut guru or gut expert Kirsty Worth, and she actually is the founder of Cultured Wellness. And it's just fascinating stuff. A lot of you have expressed interest in working on that gut health, and if that's you, definitely come along to the Fiber Challenge. It's just as informative as this one, and you get to pick the brains of that gut expert. So highly recommended.
Yeah, you learn a lot more about fiber and how incredibly beneficial diversity of fiber and specific fibers have for your gut health and overall health.
Did you know that fiber is the most powerful thing to help balance your hormones? Like, who knows that?
Okay, we shouldn't be doing the Fiber Challenge now.
I was just letting one thing out here.
So let's move along. Okay, so what's the next question you want to cover?
Yeah, you want to read out Erica's?
Erica's, okay. Erica Haywood says, any ideas on prep for big families? We're 6 in total. Lainey, I'm guessing you've got some tricks for this. I've got a separate freezer, but with prep and other frozen meals, etc., it's already jam-packed.
Clean out your freezer. We did that last night. We've got Jordan's mum coming to stay at our family, at our house, to look after our other 4 kids at home. We're taking 1 with us. We've got 5 kids. And I said to Jordan, we have to clean out the freezer and the fridge. She's not going to be able to function. So we cleaned out the freezer. We're lucky enough to have like a stand-up side-by-side fridge and freezer. So we've got just as much freezer space as we do fridge space. seriously, we need it all. We've got one dedicated drawer for all of our smoothie fruit and cashews and date paste, and then we've got part of another drawer for our veggies, like our sweet potato frozen blocks, and our kale and stuff like that. So honestly, I would just recommend finding some more freezer space, but also just doing it in bulk. So I know that you're already a fan of bulk cooking, which is why your freezer is so full, and that is so wonderful. I'm sure your life is made so much easier because you're doing that. If it's possible at all, just to find a bit more space to do that, that would be amazing. We do 1 kilo of cashews at a time when we soak them and then freeze them. I did 1 kilo of dates just last night into a big silicone food pouch. We've got a big, anyway, so bulk and just find some more freezer space. I wish there was some other magic formula.
Well, I wouldn't say there's a magic formula, but in my opinion, planning and preparation, like your planning is a major factor in this, because if you're going to plan what you're going to eat for that week, that coming fortnight, that month, then you can be more efficient with your space management in your freezer. It's easy just to chuck stuff in there, as we've experienced with the clean out last night, and that just stays in there and doesn't get sorted. So planning is a huge factor. And so it's about being intentional with what's coming up in the future. I know often freezer space gets full of things that you just think, oh, I'm going to get to that. I'll just put it away and use it later. But you have to really be intentional with what you put in there. And otherwise, if you're not space efficient, then it just falls over. It's really, really difficult. So hopefully that helps, Erica. Good luck with that. So Jen has also asked, Jen Stark says, we're loving the change to breakfast smoothies at our house. Mr. Six is especially taken to it. Awesome. I have a challenge, though. His teacher has just let me know lately that he's been extra wriggly and bouncy in class because he's got more energy, and asked if there's been any diet changes lately. We're already on the path to an ADHD diagnosis, but this change coincides perfectly with our smoothie start. How can I lower the sugar content / improve overall his favorite chockberry smoothie? Current ingredients are Greek yogurt, milk, chia, cashews, date paste, cacao powder, cauliflower, puree, spinach, and frozen mixed berries. This was a question that came up on Facebook, and I wanted to comment, but I didn't. I didn't get around to it. I read it and then got sidetracked. Cacao is a stimulant. That's important to understand. Cacao powder naturally stimulates, and I love that factor because it keeps my brain active and alive. But yes, if there's too much sugar, so if you're putting too much date paste in, or if you're too fruit heavy, you might see an increase in sugar, which will potentially, by the sounds of it, have some impact in behavior. I won't talk about ADHD because I'm not a professional, but I'm
going to pass on some tips from a professional. But also, just on that cacao note, you can, particularly for children, you can switch cacao for carob if you feel that's an issue for your child. We typically don't, because we don't really see that it's making much of it, there's no negative impact. But if you're noticing something like that happening with your child, you could experiment by switching that over to carob, because it's not it's not as much of a stimulant as cacao is. It has different health properties, of course, but it's still a great option. So in terms of advice for this particular question you have, it's a great question. You had 2 questions. One, how can I lower the sugar? Jordan's already mentioned, maybe go lower on the fruit and the date paste. But what we've actually been doing for our daughter, who I just mentioned, is tackling some pretty significant parasites in her gut right now. We have to starve those parasites of sugar right now. So she can't have sugar at all, or fructose and fruit in its natural form, which is such a big thing for her because she loves her smoothies. And so what we've done is we've learned how to ferment those smoothies using the cultured wellness kefirs that we've told you about, the yogurt, but there's also a coconut water kefir, which is delicious. It's just like drinking fizzy coconut water. You can get an apple juice one too. But we can ferment these bananas. We can ferment the strawberries, or whatever fruit you're putting in there. All you do is just add it in some coconut water kefir, leave it on the bench overnight, and then pop it, drain it and pop it in the freezer. So that means that you're having a smoothie that is 0 fructose, 0 sugar in there, because it's all been sucked out, but it's also got that probiotic goodness. Missed out at the thought of a fermented smoothie, and I was too. I actually avoided trying it for literally years, but when it was time for our daughter to really need one, I'm on it as well, and I actually am really pleasantly surprised at how delicious it is. So go on to follow that link we gave you, and you can see that there's not only the cultured yogurt, but there's also the kefir. So if you want to do a fermented smoothie with, taking out those fructose, then you can do that. In terms of your other question, for more specifically the ADHD, Jess Donovan, who is a pediatric naturopath, she actually helped develop the formulas for the supercharged smoothies. I'm part of her membership that she offers, and she did a masterclass on nutritional supports for kids with ADHD. So I listened to that recently, and there are some key takeaways, and I feel like I want to really go into it right now, but I'm conscious of the time. So what I might do, Jen, is I'll just type up a little bit of a summary.
Someone's here to take an order.
Oh, okay, we've got someone here collecting an order, so we'll just go. But Jen, as a bit of a key takeaway, there are two things that you can do that are highly recommended for kids with ADHD. One is to go gluten-free, and the other is casein-free, so GF and CF they call it, which is basically gluten dairy-free. So I noticed that you've got yogurt and milk in that smoothie, so perhaps remove that and replace it with some cultured yogurt or some frozen soaked cashews would be another great way to make it creamy without having the dairy in there. The other thing that she recommends is going off additives, colors, and flavors, like ACF diet, I think is what she calls it, because kids with ADHD are often more susceptible to those things because the nervous system is so on edge. And so those two things could make a big difference. But if you decide to go down this route of nutritional support, there's a website that is really great for specifically nutrition for kids with ADHD. It's called nourishinghope.com. So if you check that out, she's a dedicated health professional who talks only about nutritional support for kids with ADHD. But in addition to that, I will also just type up some key takeaways from Jess's masterclass, and I'll post it in the group and tag you. How's that? Sound good? I'll just touch base here. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, cool. Thank you for those comments about Jess's membership. It's really good. Okay, so the next one. Oh, thank you, Laurie, for adding those questions there. I'll talk about some of those live questions that you've got coming through now. Okay. Someone has asked, can you adapt, Laurie, can you pop their name with the question just so I know if there's a name there? Can you adapt the smoothie concept for cold weather? Smoothies in Canberra winter is not going to go down well. I totally get it. On the Sunshine Coast, we tend to have smoothies in winter, but it's not as cold as it is down there, so I totally get that. What we did actually create after a long time of people saying that is, it is right there. This is the Porridge Booster blend. It has very similar principles of the supercharged smoothies blend. It has a great mix of those seeds. It's got all sorts of different prebiotic fibers in there for your gut. And so you just can mix as much as you like into your porridge, and it's going to give you that boost that we're so used to with the smoothies. Of course, you're not going to have the veggies in there, but hopefully you can find another way of getting those veggies in. So yes, you can get that Porridge Booster blend if that's something that you want to do. But also, if you want to use these guys in winter, in the ebook, there's a bunch of recipes that you can use the blends in as well. If you don't want to make a smoothie, you can still put them in these other things. If you bake with them, of course, some of those heat-sensitive vitamins will be affected, like vitamin C might be affected. Some other things, though, will be improved. So, as long as you have that diverse range of cooking, like we've spoken about in the videos with the broccoli being cooked versus raw, etc. So I won't go into that too much right now. But if you just be mindful to be diverse and, pop the Porridge Booster in your porridge or bake something, brownies with your chocolate all rounder, there's the best Cocoa Pops recipe ever in that ebook. So make sure you check that out. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, someone else asked, I've been using honey as a substitute for coconut syrup. Is this a comparable substitute? Yeah, I mean, in terms of sweetener, absolutely. You can definitely swap that out, as well as maple syrup, even date paste. They're all going to be that nice sweet caramel type flavor. Honey does have that slightly different taste. It's a bit less, there's a bit less depth to honey, but at the same time, there are more health benefits for honey because it is, if you're using a good quality raw, unfiltered, unheated honey, then it's going to come with amazing health benefits, especially if you're choosing one that's local to you. You can get raw honey, of course, from the Whole Food Collective, but it's even better if you can get one local to you. So jump on Gumtree and just find, type in raw honey or raw honey beekeeper or something in your area. If you can find one locally, it's amazing, especially if you've got allergies. It's going to help a lot with that because the bees are getting their goodness from, the local flowers and local flora. Mental blank. So I hope that helps about the honey. Next question is, have you used chickpeas to thicken smoothies, Cassia? Yes, actually, they're really good because they're such a great source of protein. And you can use other legumes like even lentils, red lentils I've used as well. They're really great sources of protein. And so if you don't want to have things like hemp seeds, thank you, bye. If you don't want to have things like hemp seeds or protein powders, if that's what you've been using, throw some chickpeas in. Obviously, you do want to make sure that they're not the raw chickpeas because even the best of blenders will struggle when they're really hard. So you can use either soaked chickpeas or canned chickpeas that have been rinsed. So yes, go ahead and use some of those. Don't go too heavy-handed because they won't taste the best. But you can there's such a good cookie recipe that's made with chickpeas as well. So I'll try to post that in the group as well. Okay, MB has said, are you able to talk quickly about using beetroot, raw or cooked, freeze? Okay, so she wants to know how to incorporate fresh beetroot into her smoothies. Absolutely. So if you have a really great blender, MB, then you can go for raw. Typically, what people find is that if you can just grab your fresh beetroot, give it a bit of a peel if you want, but you don't need to. Hey. And you can slice it or quarter it and then steam it up. And once it's been steamed, pop it in the freezer, and then you can use it in your smoothies for sure. And it's going to give it the most magnificent pink color. It's just like fresh beetroot. So it's really quite amazing.
It's great. Fresh veggies are always fantastic. I love, I mentioned at the beginning of the challenge, my favorite smoothie at the moment is a version of the all-rounder. It's the ginger and kale.
Even the
chocolate rounder.
Even the kids are onto that now. They don't usually like ginger, but they love this one.
So it consists of ginger, a decent knob of ginger, probably that big. I like a lot of ginger. The two main ingredients are the ginger and the cacao, because the cacao and the ginger, they cover all the other flavors really well, and so you can pump a lot of stuff in there that's super nutritious but may not be really palatable. So ginger, a big knob of ginger. Then there's a handful of frozen kale. Frozen kale is important, not fresh kale, because fresh kale for some reason is so much more pungent and potent, and it's harder to taste. It's harder to cover that flavor.
It's also a bit harder to whiz up. I've found the blender doesn't break it apart as well when it's not frozen first.
Then there's a serving of frozen sweet potato or zucchini, and then we have what's next? Oh yeah, a bit of avocado, maybe a quarter of avocado, half a handful of frozen cashews, a decent serving of chocolate round. I put quite a bit in there. I think it's between half a cup and 3/4 of a cup, because I just love that. No, you don't need to put that in, but I love that massive hit. And then I put even some extra cacao on top of that.
And just so you do know, since we're talking about that, each serve, so 2 heaped, there's a scoop that comes in these big jars, and 2 heaped scoops is your full 53-gram serve. And that serve with your recommended base actually is a complete and nutritionally solid full meal that's been approved by a nutritionist and naturopath.
Yeah.
So you don't need to do more, but if you want to, then go ahead.
I'm at the stage now where if it's too balanced and the flavor is too nice, it's not enough for me. I need to have it.
To punish
not punish, but I need to have it so that I can taste that it's super healthy, and then I find that I'm getting the dose of nutrients that I want to get out of that morning meal. So anyway, the ginger kale smoothie finishes off with a couple of medjool or a couple of spoonfuls of date paste, And then coconut water,
Hmm.
250 mils, 500 mils, depends on how.
You make massive smoothies.
Depends on your blender and depends on, how runny you want it. I like it nice and thick, but I also have mine, I make about a litre every morning, so I drink about a litre of that smoothie, which, as everyone is, I'm finding out, that
Did you just see that you've got stuff on
I
your
did,
teeth?
but I felt something. I just had a cranberry, and I don't want it showing. There we go. Now I can see myself. So a litre of that smoothie takes me through to 2 p.m. It's so good. It's such a good thing. I dig it.
Mm.
Anyway, so that's a ginger kale smoothie. Highly recommend trying that out. Next time we update the ebook, I'll pop it in there. But at the moment, we're going to send a link out to you guys after the live sometime this afternoon that will have access to the binge watch page, which allows you to go through all of those videos again if you've fallen behind or want to just do a refresher or for whatever reason want to look at some of those videos again. It will have links to the ebook, which gives you multiple extra recipes for each of the blends that we have created, and also gives you that encyclopedia of ingredients and what they do for you in the body. So it's a great reference that you can look at and get a super good refresher or dive back into it and get a reminder at any time. So that's coming out to you guys sometime this afternoon.
Yeah, it should be 3 p.m. our time. Should be when it comes out. Yeah.
Just
got to make that quick edit and then send it to you. MB, yes, that's right. The 2 scoops is the same as the sample size that you might have experienced already. And yeah, Facebook user, sorry, I don't know your name. If you massage the kale, it helps it blend. Yes, thank you for that reminder. I must do that with some oil or something, or maybe just massage. Wow. I've done it with oil before, but maybe said freezing it probably expands the water in the cells.
So how about the massage time that I normally spend on your shoulders? I'll do it on the kale.
I don't think I want to make that trade, actually. I'd be happy with a little bit of kale in my smoothie that's not blended for a massage. All right.
So that's the ginger and kale chocolate rounder. Hopefully you get into it, enjoy it.
We must add that to the ebook.
I just mentioned that we will for the next update.
I must have been reading the comments and
you must have been.
Okay, Natalie, how many smoothies do you have a day, or should you have? Sorry if it's already been asked.
That's
no
okay.
problem.
7. No, I'm just kidding. No.
We always have 1. Sometimes
not always, but most of the time.
Oh yeah, like 9 times out of 10 we're having a smoothie for breakfast. Sometimes I'll have 2, but and that's totally like because these smoothies are so rounded in their nutritional profile, you don't need to be scared of having more than 1, except if you're going too fruit heavy. So make sure you're keeping those veggies up and the fruit to a moderate level, or do the fermented fruit if you really want. And you have no problem, because sometimes I look at, like there was this one night and I was trying to choose between doing a pasta bake for dinner or a smoothie. And I was like, hang on, in a pasta bake, yes, you can hide all sorts of stuff in there, but a typical pasta bake is just like carbs, cheese, and meat. Not a whole lot else. Yes, you can like probably sneak all sorts of stuff in there. But I was like, holy cow, I do not feel any guilt whatsoever having a nice green smoothie or any other smoothie with veggies in it for dinner, because you've got your protein, you've got your veg, you've got your good fats, and you're not always getting that in a dinner. So long story short, you can absolutely have more than 1 smoothie a day. However, that being said, it is important to chew. 30% of our cephalic stage of our digestion, which is when we make that digestive enzymes in our gut, is created or sparked by that chewing motion. And so Kirsty Worth, who's that gut expert who does the fiber challenge with us, she recommends actually we recommend doing toppers on your smoothie as well, but she says to do that so that you're eating your smoothie, so that you're chewing your smoothie, just to help that digestive phase come along. So if you're finding that you're bloating straight after having a smoothie, it might be because your brain wasn't properly prepared for this influx of food, because you're busy in the kitchen, you whip up a smoothie and then you're drinking it while you're driving the car or you're running around with the kids and your mind is not on your food. And so all 5 senses can help with that cephalic stage. So you can, I have personally found that the sound of the blender is enough to get that cephalic stage cranking for me, because I've associated that sound with the fact that I'm about to have some yummy food. So long story short.
Yeah, but also, blended smoothies is like having pre-digested food because it's broken down from its solid state into a liquid state already. So it does
Much
contribute.
easier
Yeah,
to
it's much easier for your
digest.
body to get to then draw those nutrients out.
Yeah.
So
there's actually some pretty fascinating studies about that as well. So it does break down those the cell wall, the fibers in the cell. Well, I'm not saying that correctly, but it does break down that fiber so well that we get much more out of it. If you look at a carrot that's been steamed and cooked versus a pureed carrot, the amount of nutrients that you absorb from the pureed carrot is so much more, and so it comes along to our smoothies as well.
So Sarah has asked, is it okay to use the uncooked kale? I've heard that it's too high in oxalates.
Sarah, if you have a thyroid issue, then yes, you want to steer clear of using raw kale and raw cruciferous veggies. If you don't have a thyroid issue, then just make sure you're having a diverse range of cooked versus raw, and that will be fine.
Okay, and if you have any more detailed health questions, please speak to a naturopath.
Yes, I'm not a health professional.
Yeah.
I've just read a lot.
Yeah.
And speak to many people.
Okay, Belinda has asked about the bone broth powder.
Yes, Belinda.
There's just been a temporary shortage of supply of that, so we actually have to hold all of our retail ready packets for our blends. Otherwise, we don't have any blends. So it will come back in. It'll be a few weeks.
We were talking to Richard, the guy who heads up Bonafide, the bone broth powder that we use and offer to our community. And he just has about a 3-month or maybe by now 2-month delay on the next shipment or the next delivery. So yes, we will, but not in time for this week. Sorry.
Okay, so that's most of the questions that have come through.
No, it's not actually.
Not of them.
They're the ones that have come through live, but we've had some questions come through earlier. Brigitte, I should say, or Brigitte. It's really interesting spelling. I hope I'm saying it right. I don't have the strongest name pronunciation skills. I'm sorry. But she wants to know, how would she substitute non-vegan ingredients in the gut-loving smoothie, like gelatin and bone broth, so that I can get more nutrition out of the smoothie? Great question.
Substitute the vegan ingredients.
Well, the non-vegan ingredients. So the bone broth and the gelatin are the only non-vegan ingredients in our entire range, and that's in the gut-loving blend.
Gotcha.
So I have been working behind the scenes on a vegan blend, and I was hoping to have it ready for you today. Not ready. Soon. But I've been saying that for a while, but really soon. We just had some samples of some new ingredients arrive. So now we're in the process of now testing the vegan blend. And there's pretty cool ingredients in there. But basically the takeaways are, make sure you've got that good healthy dose of that cultured yogurt. It's a vegan yogurt, and it's going to give you a great influx of nutrition, of the probiotic goodness for your gut. But also, all products which claim to be like a vegan collagen, they're really just boosters or supplements that have ingredients that can support collagen production in your body. And so you can get those, you can add those vitamins and minerals through your diet, through food, instead of a supplement, and help meet the amino acid needs of your body. So collagen is created by having an adequate supply of amino acids. Now, the 3 key amino acids are glycine, lysine, and proline. And I've identified which foods are highest in those amino acids so that we can provide those in a vegan gut-loving smoothie. But to basically give you a snapshot, make sure you've got things like a good quality soy. Soy gets a bad rap, but I've been listening to a leading breast cancer specialist who, she's very credible. And as long as your soy is organic and fermented, it's a wonderful and absolutely necessary addition into your diet. So things like tempeh and some tofus can supply that as well. Miso paste is another one. So having a soy product in there, or black beans, kidney beans, any of those legumes are really great addition into that vegan gut-loving smoothie. Pepita, sunflower, chia, very good in terms of getting that glycine, proline, and the other one that I can't quite remember now, into your diet. Aloe vera is the final ingredient that I'll be adding. So aloe vera has been used for such a long time to help soothe skin irritations and wounds, but it also helps soothe the gut lining. And it also helps generate that collagen. So they're the key things that we'll be introducing into the gut loving one. So aloe vera and some of those key foods to help that collagen production along. Also, any foods that have vitamin C, zinc, and copper, and then will also help with that as well.
Right on. So hopefully that's...
Look at that question.
What's that? Do you have...
Blender recommendations.
Oh.
We have been going. We've been talking about that.
In the future, the Supercharged Smoothie will have a bonus, like the Supercharged Smoothie Bootcamp will have a bonus video, which is a review of a bunch of different blenders that we're just looking at right now. We've gone through a couple, so we're really heavily looking at ones that are going to be the best for really consistent use and lots of frozen goods and all that sort of stuff.
And we're hoping to get the good deal for you guys as well.
Yeah, we're in the conversation with a few different people about seeing what's going to be the best. So we're going to do that soon. It's not available now, but yeah, in terms of recommendations for a blender, it's really important that you have high wattage if you're blending frozen vegetables, especially if the portion sizes are quite large. That's probably the most important factor. If you're going to blend every day and you're going to put lots of frozen goods in ice and other frozen vegetables, you need to have a high wattage in your blender. Obviously, and generally, the price range dictates the quality of the unit. That's just the way that it is. But we're going to break down a few that we're going to get really detailed in our blender review, because we want to make sure that we can recommend things for different reasons. So we might get different blenders for different reasons. And so we don't just want to say, well, this is good for this, so this is the best. But we're going to review a few and say, this is what's good for this, this is what's good for this, this is what's good for that. So we want to be really thorough with it. We'll add it as a bonus video shortly. When I say shortly, hopefully in the next few months into our Supercharged Smoothies Bootcamp. But at the moment, do we have any specific recommendations for blenders?
We've used well, so far of the ones we've tried, our favorite is the Kenwood Multi Pro.
That's the one we used to have. That was our number one, and that broke. Then our reserve blender broke. But our reserve one was quite a cheap model, and there was a few issues with the ergonomics of the blade, which I didn't like. It didn't blend up as well as it could have. So that's a consideration. It was more of just a slicer type horizontal blades that went circular, rotated circular. It didn't have anything that was sticking up or slightly to the side, which really blends things up properly. So the blade issue was a concern for me, although blades went all the way up the shaft of the rotator.
That was the Ninja.
I didn't want to mention it because I don't want to shame anybody.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Kenwood. Sorry, I thought you were confused, but I'm confused.
Yeah, no, I'm all good. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
For your concern.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, we'll do a really in-depth review of blenders soon.
The review will include a Vitamix. It will also include the BioChef. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully that helps somewhat. But high wattage, good orientation of your blades. If they look like that, then you're going to blend up really well. If they're just spinning around and they're horizontal, then they don't really blend up to be really smooth. So we've covered off that, and that.
All right, Says
has asked, while the mixes have great things such as nut seeds and other great things, is there protein in each smoothie? Example, over the years I pop in protein powders and other powders with proteins. Okay.
Cool. So it says, what you'll find is that protein deficiencies are quite rare in our society and in our Western culture. And so unless you're working out a lot, and we are developing a blend for people who really do want that protein powder in their smoothie, like a recovery shake for people who are bulking up.
Yeah.
Then you don't need a protein powder. And I saw that was someone's key takeaway was like, oh, you don't need a protein powder. And so that it's really cool to know that you can get your protein needs through whole foods. My favorite way of getting protein in a smoothie is hemp seeds, because there's so many other benefits to them as well. But of course, there are many ways, like we just mentioned chickpeas as well. Says what you'll find is that with all 5 of our smoothie blends with their recommended base provides 45 to 60% of an average protein requirement for an average woman per day. So it has adequate adequate protein. The blends itself, I think the one that I saw, the Chocolate Rounder from memory, was like 28%, and then when you add it to the when you add it to the base, it jumped up to like 45 or so. So about half of it's coming from the blend and half of it's coming from your base. Holy cow.
Someone's just gone crazy on our YouTube feed. How do we get that person off?
Laurie, can you please, are you able to delete those comments? That's a horrible...
Block that user from YouTube. It's, wow. Someone's just gone crazy and hacked our feed and writing terrible things. Super immature.
Sorry, I'm really sorry, guys, for those people having to read that. That's not okay.
It's disgusting.
So we're going to carry on.
Yep.
Tegan, do you want to read Tegan's?
Oh, Tegan. Tegan has asked, what would be your top 2 mixes to start with?
You go.
I'll go. The most popular have been the Choco Rounder because it's such a flavor sensation, along with the Gut Loving for the same reason, but also the Gut Loving is such a jam pack full of gut loving goodness. So the Choco Rounder and the Gut Loving would be our 2 that we'd always recommend to start. And that's typically how people start if they're only going to go for a couple, is they jump on those 2. That's...
Yeah, I find that they're less unique in their flavor profile. And so they're more readily acceptable to a broader range of palates and a broader range of, I guess, progression on the whole food journey and I guess familiarity with different types of whole food tastes. So yeah, Gut Loving and All Rounder are the safe bets for everyone. If you've got a specific need or a really love of that of the health goal of the other ones, then and you want diversity, then you grab them all and have a different one each day if you want. That's typically what a lot of people do, is just have that diverse range by having a different one each day. Or if your body craves a certain type of smoothie, listen to it and have that one open. Like sometimes I crave the detox smoothie. Other times I crave another one, and I just try to listen to that, and I try not to be too regimented with, I'm up on Tuesday, I have this one, So just, listen to your body.
Cool. A late question from a late joiner, which is totally cool. Can you use silver beet in your smoothies? You can use anything in your smoothies that you want to eat. It's about how you incorporate it in terms of its flavor profile, its palate, based with other things in your smoothie. So obviously, when we went through and we developed this whole range, there was a lot of trial and error.
So much
there was
trial
more
and error.
error than trial. But, you have to find out what blend, what works, the balance, and it takes time. And so you can experiment. That's the great thing about what we do and what we encourage is just experiment. If you like certain vegetables, experiment with different volumes and in different combinations with other vegetables and see how they go and come up with something that you like. We're actually going to, I've been considering having like a smoothie challenge where we have everyone come up with their own recipe.
Ooh.
And post like one a day, and then we choose the best one and we make a big deal about it.
Yeah, that'd be great. We could add it to the ebook and have it as more variations. That'd be awesome.
But experiment, because whole food is incredible. The diversity of nutrients and the balance you get from a whole food is, it's there in that combination at that ratio for a reason, And the more you can have, the better your body will absorb and respond. That's whole foods is the way to go. So put in whatever you want. If you like drinking it, then you put it in. And if it's a whole food, if it's a vegetable or a fruit, as long as it's not too fruit heavy, chuck it in and give it a shot and let us know how it goes.
Let's do another prize before the next question.
It's already 1:30.
I know, it's 1:30. So
Holy
I think
heck.
we've only got, look, guys, we're up to like 2 more questions and that's it. So let's do 2 more prizes now.
Okay, 2 more prizes. So we'll go for...
Well, yeah, actually today's winner gets those 2. But
today's winner?
The challenge today.
The challenge today. Okay, so we'll go with our Brain Boost pack, which is...
we don't have it right here.
A Brain Boost Smoothie Booster, Supercharged Smoothie Booster, a 10-serving jar, plus a...
Ice cream mold.
And sticks. Yeah.
So...
Leftover smoothies.
Did we cover? Yeah, I think this was covered in some of the posts, but not in the videos. So if you have leftover smoothies, excuse me, and you don't want to waste it, which I never do, I never want to waste it, then you can pour it into these mini, these are the larger ones for adults. I find these ones are the best for kids. And just freeze them, and you can give it to them as a dessert or as in summertime as an ice cream breakfast as they're heading out the door, that kind of thing. Super cool.
Treat, yeah. So remember to write. People have already.
I think everyone's written their number and everything. So Laurie, can you please find the person closest to number 23, and they will win that one.
And if you're new to the live today, what we're doing is for our prize packs, we ask you to write down your biggest takeaway from the Supercharged Smoothie Bootcamp, and also a number between 1 and 50, and we'll write down some randoms, and then if you choose that one, then reach out to us at hello@thewholefood collective. We'll also record your details, and then we'll get you a code that you can redeem that prize with.
And for those, we've still got quite a few people showing up as Facebook user because we're using Be Live to stream. If you haven't clicked that link, we don't know your name, so just put your name in with that number if you can. Okay, Facebook user has said heaps of silver beet in the garden at the moment.
I already covered that up.
How did I not?
I don't know.
I'm really
you're focused elsewhere.
I'm, like whenever, sometimes when you're talking, not whenever. Sometimes when you're talking, I'm catching up on the comments and I just space out from. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. No, I won't say that. Okay, that's a great word to say.
Summer.
Yep.
Summer gets the brain boost and ice cream molds. Woo!
Oh, good job, Summer. Okay. Oh, Imbi. Hang on. Imbi says.
Imbi. Oh, sorry. Oh, no, then Laurie apologized, said, no, Imbi did get it. Sorry, Summer. Hang on, she got 22. We'll hook you up with something, Summer. Summer's actually my friend, and she lives just down the road. So we'll hook you up with something.
Okay, good on you, Imbi. All right, so we'll have another question, then we'll do another prize. Where are the questions at?
Over here. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Hannah Holm has said, do you recommend soaking and freezing all types of nuts or just cashews? For example, if I wanted to add macadamias or walnuts to a smoothie, would it be nutritionally better to soak them and freeze them too? So that comes down to the fact of soaking them typically activates a nut or a seed, and activated nuts and seeds tend to have easier digestibility.
Yeah, if you find that you bloat or get discomfort when having nuts and seeds, then yes, you should totally be activating your nuts and seeds. But you also do get more nutrients when you do regardless, because nuts and seeds and legumes, and rice and grains, they have phytic acid or anti-nutrients in them. And so for thousands of years, other cultures have known what to do, how to prepare their grains and nuts and seeds and legumes properly, which is by soaking, but importantly, also adding in something acidic. That can be a little bit of salt, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, or the watery part of your yogurt, the whey. Just add like a tablespoon of, well, not a tablespoon of salt, just it doesn't need much, just a dash of one of those things, and that will activate those nuts and seeds. So when it comes to timing, you can do a quick little Google and you'll see. I don't typically follow a set time for different types of nuts and seeds, but technically, if you're going to get super specific, then there are optimal times. If it's in principle a high fat nut like macadamias or cashews or pistachios, those high fat oily type seeds, then they're going to need less time. So 2 hours is going to be fine for your cashews and macadamias. And if you leave them for longer than that, it can actually start affecting the good fats in them. And so other nuts, like the harder types of nuts, can be left longer, but you can just do a quick little Google and find that if that's something that you feel you need to do.
Just, I think on that note, it doesn't double the nutritional value. It doesn't add a significantly higher amount. It is technically a better way, but we have to consider the practicality of life as well. And I never do that. Not to say that I couldn't improve by doing it, but I just don't have the time. I just chuck everything in, blend it up and eat it. And I find that it's fine. You get so much nutrition already in that. But if there are issues, as Lainey said, if you bloat or if you have any reactions in terms of gut discomfort, then maybe removing those anti-nutrients and the phytic acid through the soaking and activation process is going to be a positive step for you. But yeah.
But I mean, it is quite easy. Like yesterday, I did a kilo of cashews. I just dumped it all into a big bowl and I added a bit of salt and I just left it there for the day. Even though it's I just said 2 hours for cashews. I left it there for the whole day, drained it and put it in the freezer. So it's not it's easily done.
You got to pick your battles.
You do. I like when I had a newborn baby, I couldn't even do the dishes. Like I couldn't even clean up after breakfast, like let alone make nut milk or like just those things. Just do what you can do in the season of life that you're in, right?
Whatever level you're at, it's all important. I think one of the issues when looking at the ideal is that you start to see more the gap between where you are and the ideal, and that is discouraging. When you really have to dismiss that, and it ties into comparison artists, whether you're comparing yourself to someone else or comparing yourself to the ideal, that's a very toxic way of thinking in terms of, I'm not there and therefore we don't put any effort in. It's super key and super important to recognize that I'm facing in the right direction and I'm heading in that direction. And the small steps will eventually build your momentum. If you continue to positively add whole foods to your diet, do a few things, build some really good habits around getting a lot more nutrition in than you have been in the past, then that's an awesome thing. So I think really key to not be worried about whether you're at the ideal or whether you're doing the optimal thing, but just do what you can, eat whole foods, have fun with it. And just like, don't stress about the fact that you're not there or that someone else is or whatever, because that will only cause you discomfort and discouragement, and you'll lose motivation and momentum. So the fact that you guys are here listening, the fact you guys have put in effort to make these smoothies, that's such a good thing. And just build on that, slowly get to the stage where maybe your lifestyle will shift and you'll eventually be the fact where you're soaking all your nuts and seeds. And that's cool because there is extra benefit in doing that.
Yeah.
But, if you're just dumping some stuff in, whizzing it up, and you've got a nutrition full blender, a nutrition full cup of a blended smoothie, that's a fantastic start, as lots of you guys have already experienced. So
yeah. And like we've been learning little bits here and there for 15 years, and we're still finding ways to improve. Like it's a journey, and just take it at your own pace.
Yeah, but keep focused on where you want to be and keep taking small steps to get there. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
All right. Jody asked a question about how to prepare raw beetroot, which we've covered by someone else's question. So that's awesome. But she's also asked, okay, we've already answered that question too, Jody. Great. I think, is that all? Actually, I think Laurie's added one at the top here. Oh, awesome. Okay.
So I just wanted to shout out to Tegan, who's Lainey mentioned her at the beginning. She emailed us last night, and these are the types of emails that really make our day, because we're excited to be introducing people to this really powerful information, which in my it used to be the standard, the norm, that we get a lot of whole foods and a variety of them into our diet, but we've been hoodwinked is an interesting way to put it over the past few decades. In terms of diet, and to see people struggling with certain issues that get resolved with diet is incredible to see. And Tegan has mentioned that she's had a whole bunch of issues with IBS and some other things, and she hasn't found any success in a lot of different things, but she's reached out and let us know that she's noticing changes already to her gut health and also her skin from the small amount of time she's been incorporating these smoothies. So,
and she says, I think my body is finally able to absorb all these wonderful nutrients, and she's excited. So good.
To continue the journey. And that's it. It's a journey. And when you have little wins like that, we celebrate them. We love to hear the feedback, and we are so stoked for you guys when that happens, because it's such a positive step forward. It really is. And please keep sharing it with us, because it really lights us up and helps us to keep pushing forward, because choosing to do this full time means that we rely on it, and sometimes we can get bogged down in a lot of the stuff that's required to keep it operating. But when we see that we can actually positively influence, it's totally rad, and we really dig it. So we really appreciate Tegan. Awesome for you, mate. Shout out to the changes you've made and the benefits you're receiving, and hopefully you will continue with that journey and let us know how it goes.
Yeah, so good. It's 1:42. Let's do 3 more prizes.
Okay.
The last question, unless there's more that pop up, and we'll give out. I can't give out the code because I've got to flip and change the dates. I'm sorry.
But it
gets emailed. Yeah, sure. We can give you
Yeah,
the code
yeah.
and then
Just
in
wait 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we've got a detox pack, which is a detoxify supercharged smoothie blend with a insulated tumbler, and Lainey's gonna post the number there. Yeah.
Right, 44.
Double 4.
Laurie has kindly recorded everyone's numbers and names to save any confusion. So we won't announce them all. Laurie's got the more accurate viewpoint.
Yes.
So we'll do a little post in the group and tag all the winners and get you guys to reach out to Jordan's mother-in-law, Susanna, who heads
Mother-in-law?
my mother-in-law, his mum, Susanna, in customer support, and she will be able to hook you up with the code.
Yeah. So we've got 2 more, the supercharged all-rounder and the supercharged gut loving, which happens to be gluten-free in and of itself. So supercharged all-rounder comes with a tumbler, and the winner of the supercharged all-rounder, our page is getting smaller.
I know,
with every
I keep
fold.
folding the page. 49.
49. Congratulations. So hang on, now we don't get to celebrate with the winner.
I know, it's, yeah.
Kind of defeats that live purpose.
Got to come up with a better system. I know.
Okay, and the final prize pack is the supercharged gut loving smoothie blend and a insulated tumbler.
This is actually for today's winner.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, it is.
So do we announce the number then, or we don't? Because today's winner is chosen from the post.
Yeah, we're gonna post for today's winner, the gut loving.
All right, well then we'll post that.
All right, so our final question. Here we go, guys. Our final question is from Marianne. She said, "Is hemp seeds the same as hemp protein powder?" It's not. Hemp protein powder is more highly processed. It's extracted.
I actually learned about this from Seb yesterday.
Oh, Seb's a hemp.
So the hemp seed,
guy.
they extract the oil, and then from the oil, they extract the protein. And the protein then is that it's an isolate, obviously, because it's extracted from all the whole compound of the hemp seed. And that isolate is in and of itself a great source of protein, but it is so much better to just pack in your whole hemp seeds, because you're getting such a diversity of nutrition with all your omegas, your 6 omegas that come in. Is that what they are? The 6 of them, the omega oil, the oil that comes in.
Oh, I wouldn't feel confident answering.
Anyway, all the omega, it's the only plant based that has all the omega oils.
Oh, all the essential
omegas.
Amino acids.
Yeah. And so hemp seeds are an incredible nutrition source. So yeah, we would definitely recommend just chucking in a whole bunch of whole hemp seeds.
Actually, I was listening to a brain expert the other day, Delia. She recommended her favorite protein powder. And so I was interested to click through and have a look. And when I went through and had a look, sure enough, she did not recommend a protein powder per se.
An isolate.
It was actually a hemp seed. They called it a hemp seed protein, but all it was whole hemp seeds whizzed up into a powder.
Powderized, yes.
Powderized,
dehydrated
yeah. And so that told me that, I actually commented and I said to the nutritionist who was hosting the discussion, how is that different to using whole hemp seeds? Is there any difference there? And she said, oh, it's just, sometimes it's a bit gritty in your smoothie, but I've never found that. Hemp seeds are quite soft and they do really well in a smoothie. So hemp seeds are the way to go.
Yeah, hemp seeds is it. So protein, hemp seeds. So and that's it, is it? That's all the questions?
That's all the questions.
All right. Well, guys, we really appreciate you sticking around. We tend to want to divulge as much info as we can in these live sessions and just spit out.
Long.
And, we do tend to get on tangents and get out passion points and we hit them up. But we really appreciate you guys joining us and having this discussion. We really hope you guys have enjoyed the last 10 days. We have, for those who are interested in purchasing some of these supercharged smoothie blends, there is a 20% off discount code for the next 4 days.
Till Monday midnight.
And that will simply be SS Blends 20.
Just give us 5 minutes after we finish up here.
We just have to reactivate it. And if you've ordered it with that code before, it's a one-time use. But if you haven't, jump on and check them out. If you want to purchase. If you're just here for the learning, that's fine. Hope you got a lot out of it. The ebook will be coming sometime this afternoon. We want you to come and join our communities online.
Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. You go.
This group will be closing on Wednesday. I think it's Tuesday. We're going to close it down because we just physically can't man so many
Multiple
different
pages,
Facebook groups. So we have one main Facebook group. It's called
The Collective Community.
No, it's not. The Whole Food Collective Community.
Oh, yes, okay. The Whole Food Collective Community.
So please go ahead and join us there. We will also send you a link. Laurie has put it in the comments. Laurie, would you mind putting the link to the Fiber Challenge waitlist in the comments as well? If you've loved this boot camp, you will love the Fiber Challenge. Come along and join us there. You'll learn all about the 5 superpowers of fiber.
It's pretty epic.
Yeah, and stuff that you would never expect.
Yeah. Fiber can have a boring rap, but it's such a crucial nutrient.
Yeah, it's like relegated to the toilet, right? Like we think of fiber and we think of Metamucil, and we think of just being able to, have number 2s more easily. But it's far more than that. So come along and learn all about it.
Yeah, so we appreciate you guys again. We hope you will take this as a springboard and platform to move into some better nutrition choices and build on where you're at and improve and further yourself in the journey. If you want to reach out, hello@thewholefoodcollective.com.au, you can email us for a chat. We really hope you join us for the Fiber Challenge coming up. And also let your friends know that you enjoyed the Smoothie Challenge, because we are trying to get this out to as many people as possible, because we know that it can be life-changing, and so many people suffer unnecessarily based on lack of nutrition, and they just don't know that yet. And so when they get that hit, as Tegan has experienced and other people have experienced, you feel so much better. You're fuller, you've got more energy, you've got less fatigue, you've got less brain fog, more focus. There's so many benefits from getting nutrient-dense foods in your body. So we really want to spread that message as far as we can. So yeah,
awesome.
We appreciate you, and we hope you have a wonderful day. We're about to take off, and we just got to do a couple more things before we go.
Do you still have to repair the mixer?
Yeah, we're just going to probably have to replace it.
Oh.
It's broken.
So anyway, is there going to be a delay then to get the blends
potentially
out?
A little bit of a delay.
We just had a piece of, if you've just joined and you didn't see the start, we had a piece of machinery break just earlier this morning, and that's what it's like, a commercial food blender that mixes all of the
we can just
blends together.
Hand mix them. It'll just take a little bit longer, so maybe a couple extra days. Nothing major.
But guys, you will have access to the videos through a binge watch page that we'll send you very soon, today, this afternoon. And you'll have access to all the videos until Monday midnight, as well as you can download the ebook for free until Monday midnight. If you don't download it before Monday midnight, you can purchase it over at the Whole Food Collective. It's like $15. It's like a smoothie Bible. It's a reference guide forevermore. It's an index about all the different foods and the formula. It's robust. You'll love it. Anything else? Please come and hang out with us in the other group. We don't want to say goodbye. It's been fun, you guys.
Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy this wherever you are. The sun, the rain, the cold, the hot.
It's been all that here today.
Yeah, take care, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
See you guys. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.